Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna be showing you how to play Wheel by Jesse Wells today. It's been a while since I've put out a video. Just been busy. So, got a couple requests on this one, and I just learned this one, and I think it's a great song. The message is great, listen to it a couple times. It's good. We're going off of the video that he posted. I think it was about like 6 months ago. It wasn't the original one that I learned off of, the one where he's in the woods, but he's actually indoors for once, and he's just sitting there on the bed. He's got his capo on the 4th fret, and he's starting right here on a C chord. So, addition to that, I'm gonna put all of the chords on screens post-production. I can't see them right now, but I'm sure you can. So feel free to pause the video, look at these. If you don't know them, learn them, because you're gonna need them. And we're just gonna get right on into the video. All right, we're getting up close and personal here. So just for reference, I'm gonna be referring to the chords that we're playing as what they would be on the 1st fret, but they are technically different notes just because we have this capo here. But I'm just gonna refer to this as the 1st fret. And so you're gonna start it out on a C, and then you're gonna go to an A minor, and then you're gonna go to an E minor, and then that E minor you're gonna play for 2 measures, or sorry, 2 measures. So you're going. And so that's just a simple, he does a little bit of fingering up in here if you want to get it to sound more like it. But you can play this whole song simply just with a down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. You want to accent that first note, but that's just a simple way. I'm going to be showing you how to play it the way that he actually plays it in the song. He does all these little nuance things, and I'll show you how to do all that. But if you want to play it simply, it's just the chords and a strumming pattern that you think sounds right for you. It's, he plays it differently every time, and so can you. No big deal. So start off, you're lifting your middle finger, and you're gonna hammer on right after you strum. So for that first one, you go. So he's pretty much hammering on each of those. So for the C chord, you're just hammering on your middle finger on that, the 4th string, the D string. And then for the A minor, you're hammering on 2 fingers on your D string and your G string. You're keeping your pointer finger locked in place. And then the E minor, you're hammering on the whole thing. So you just pluck the open strings, you strum, and then hammer on. And then he kind of does a little transition before he goes back into the C chord. He goes. But you don't have to do that. He really only does that the first 1 or 2 times where he hammers on all of those. The rest of the time, he's really only hammering on that first C chord. So you don't have to hammer it on or anything. Like I said, you can play it simply, but that's just how he does it. So you play that a couple times. He's singing, What is he saying? I'm a trusting all the apples to grow on the trees. Yeah, I believe in them, and they believe in me. I don't know. Hope so. You see that? So on that second time around, it's like second or third time around, he brings his pinky in here, 3rd fret on that B string, and so you get this. This is what your regular E minor sounds like, but he kind of want to focus on those higher notes. And he does that on and off throughout the song. So just listen, try to figure it out on your own, because I don't know exactly where they are all at. And, you know, just throw them in there every once in a while. Sounds good. So after he plays that a couple times, he goes, you know, all the apples on the trees, you just got to trust them or whatever. You're coming around the last time. Instead of staying on that E minor, you're gonna go to your G. Then you're gonna pause, and then we'll keep spinning on. Turn and turn me on. We'll keep spinning on. So that's the chorus. So that last time around, you're gonna play your C, A minor, E, and then to your G. And for future, like transitioning in the future, it is going to be easier to play your G like this with your pinky back in there and your middle finger in your ring instead of like this. Just because we're going to transition into a weird G7 chord that he always does. So I learn playing like this too, so it's good to get in the habit of playing both of those for when you're transitioning, and even when you're transitioning into your C and your F, it's good to have that in your back pocket as well. So going into the chorus, you're ending the verse on that G. We'll keep spinning on, and you're starting back on your C. You're gonna strum. There's a little nuance. So it's going to be C, F, and then G. And then right before he goes back to C, he does a couple strums on the F. So it's C, F, G, F, C, F, G's, C, F, G, F, C. And for the C and the F, he's hammering on his middle finger. And he lifts up right before the G. And so it's pretty much that over and over again, and then he kind of swings back around. So you got, we'll go from the top, or from right before the beginning of the chorus. We'll keep spinning on. Turn me on. We'll keep spinning on. Turn me on. And he hangs on this G. So this is going to be kind of like the bridge or transition moment. I'd probably call it the bridge. And so I'm going to go show you how to start back into that bridge there. All right, so you're coming into this short bridge / turnaround section here. You're hanging on that G. going to your D minor. So it's going to be D minor, E minor, F, G, and you're going to transition to that G7. He does this in almost all of his songs. So he plays his G like this, brings his middle finger back on the D string, focus on that D string, kind of pluck it a little bit more. And he brings his pinky over and goes up 1 fret. All at the same time, moving your middle finger back over to the 2nd fret on the A string, and your index fingers coming back here on the 1st fret of the high E string. And that's what it should sound like. So practice that transition. It took me a while to get it down where it sounds good. So and then you're already kind of in the position to switch back over to your C. And then it goes back into the verse, and it's the same thing as it was beginning of the song. Except this time he's talking about planets and cake. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the majority of the song. It does those things over and over again, except for when he's coming into that longer bridge section. So if I'm trying to think, he is singing the chorus. He also, in between, before that second time he goes into that shorter bridge slash interlude, he goes up to that G7, but you don't have to do that. He just does that if you watch the video. I try to encourage you to watch this video, watch his video, maybe even slow his video down, see all that he does, because I don't go into immaculate detail. So watch for when that happens if you want to do that. If you don't, nobody's going to be able to tell a difference. And then he goes into that bridge section. He goes G, and then he goes into his D minor again. It's the same as before except for the ending. Your E minor, your F, G, F, E minor, A7, back into that D, into the G. This is where he's saying, everything you see, and everything you touch, it is what it is, babe. It's gonna have to be enough. He hangs on this G for a whole extra measure. Back into the verse. This time he's talking about rivers. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. That little part, you kind of just gotta memorize. It goes D minor into the E minor, F, just like it was before, back to the G, and then instead of going to your G7, you're going back to the F, E minor, and then the A7 pops up, and this is where he goes into that long bridge. And it's just from D to G, D to G, and then he goes into the G7. So yeah, that's pretty much it. After that, he goes back into the verse, sings a little bit about rivers, then he goes back into the chorus, and then he goes back into the interlude section. Or, yeah. And this is where he ends the song. One final strum on that C chord, and you have learned Wheel by Jesse Wells. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. You know, just sitting down, learning his songs, teaching them, letting people know how to play them after he puts them out so quickly. Such great songs. And I hope that you guys learned something. Let me know down in the comments or whatever if you want me to, if there's a song that you want me to teach myself and then teach to you guys. So other than that, I'll see you guys next time.